We got your audience waiting, going, what the hell?
I'm sorry, well the train's had a problem pulling away from the station today. So, okay, good afternoon everybody. Welcome back to the train. And today on the train we have with us Anne-Marie Myers.
Hello.
Who is a life coach. And we're going to be investigating on today's train, I hope. I want to talk to Anne-Marie a little bit about energies and how our energies work within our own bodies.
Yeah.
And also how you run a thing called the Soul Awakening. Now then, what do you do with Soul Awakening? What do you mean by Soul Awakening?
Well, I mean, I suppose the writing's on the wall with that Soul Awakening. It's to help people awaken to their soul's calling, their true self. I know we've probably heard that term over and over again, and to try and quantify what it actually means when we live in a conditioned society and we've been imprinted all our lives with conditioning and conformity. To awaken to your soul's calling, it's quite a deep transformative process. Hopefully one person will achieve it in this lifetime, but not always.
So you believe that this might go on into another lifetime?
Yeah, I definitely believe in karma, yeah.
In
yeah.
karma?
I believe in karma, yeah.
Isn't that a bit different to another lifetime?
I believe in, I study astrology, and there's something in astrology called your north and south node. Your south node is what you've previous lives, past lives, karma, call it what you like. It's what you've experienced in another lifetime. And your north node points to what you should really aim for in this lifetime, your destiny point.
So how does that affect your energy within yourself? What I'm thinking here is we use approximately what? 10-15% of our brain power?
About 5%.
About 5% of our brain power.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's crazy.
So if that's all we use, what's happening with the rest? And is that in any way linked to what you're talking about with awakening your soul?
Absolutely, yeah. Because the rest of the energy is being used subconsciously. So it's complete automatic behaviour, which is imprinted through the conditioning we've had this lifetime and before, genetics and DNA, ancestral beliefs, etc. all come into
You're
play.
mixing lots of things together here. You're mixing up not just physical stuff and medical stuff like genetics and so on, but you're also mixing up energy stuff as well.
Yeah.
And you're talking about past lives.
Well, yeah, I mean, we inherit beliefs. Where does that come from?
But that becomes some teaching, doesn't it?
It comes through from our DNA.
Beliefs come through from our DNA.
Yeah, our inherited beliefs, traits, characteristics, they're not just ours. Our DNA contains unimaginable amounts of information, and within our genetic coding, scientific studies been done with this to prove that we carry our ancestors' genes.
Except we carry our ancestors' genes. In fact, we can go right back to monkeys and so on, can't we? But what I'm saying here is, where do you get this thing of learning from or inheriting what they actually do or beliefs in that?
Well, what you asked me was, where does most of our energy go, and how does most of our energy get used? And I said that's in your subconscious mind, or automatic behaviours, but they're so automatic we don't realise they're doing. But also we have that along with these inherited ancestral traits as well. So it's like, who's running the show? 5% of our energy is used for our conscious mind. The rest, they say, is run by the subconscious mind, which houses everything that's ever happened to us, every experience we have, and more.
I am sitting here almost totally speechless.
Does that answer your question?
No, it
okay,
raises
sorry.
so many more. You just blown my head there.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to have to go away and sit down and think about that at length. That's really interesting. Where does that come into your life coaching?
Well, it's just information, but when I teach, obviously, the life coaching, so when I'm teaching people, this is an important thing to teach them about the subconscious mind. Maybe not on that scale.
Yeah.
But you know, most of the way our habits are, and we run, is from our subconscious mind. It's like driving a car. At first, we're in the learning stage. You have to think about every move we make. But then it becomes so ingrained. It's a habit. It's an automatic behaviour. That's pretty much then the subconscious mind takes over and does it all for you.
So what you're saying is once you
we just run on autopilot.
Once you know how to change gear, that's it.
We're not in control of our life. We're just running on autopilot.
We are not in control of our lives. So hang on a second then. If we're not in control of our lives, what is all this I hear about? You should actually be able to sit and imagine, dream of what it is that you want, and then throw it out there to the universe and let them get on with it. This is something we've discussed before, but what you're saying is a quite interesting take on that.
I guess it's slightly different to the subconscious mind. I mean, it's the power of manifestation. It really like describes what type of universe we live in, a recreative universe.
This all comes from our unconscious mind, and all this ancestral stuff which has been generating there, and which we've got, which is all part. We can link into that.
Yeah, we're all part of the collective. You're going to really get me to go deep here. It might be like, but we're all part of the collective unconscious. Like the famous psychologist Carl Jung, he talks about the collective unconscious.
He did, I know.
Yeah, so you know we're all part of that.
You have taken this somewhere where I didn't expect to go.
Okay.
So this is quite interesting. So if we look at that, would it be right to say that religious people who talk about God, that's what they're talking about?
I can't speak for them. I have no idea. I'm not into religion. I'm interested in all types of religion, but I mean that's just a belief system as far as I'm concerned.
But it's what you just said. Isn't that also a belief system? Because that's in the 90% of our brain that we don't know our unconscious mind, which we have difficulty tapping. Isn't that just?
I get the subconscious mind. Is that part of the belief?
Unconscious mind?
Yeah. Well, it's it's.
Isn't this the bit that links into the belief system? Isn't this the bit that links into this?
It can be. Yeah, definitely. Your subconscious mind will house belief systems that you don't really know you have, because you've taken them on from someone else.
I need to sit and think. That you have in actual fact brought up quite a lot there, and some of that is quite difficult.
Do you want to stop and start again?
No. Some of that, no, we can't stop the train. It's going, but we can't. The thing is, there's quite a lot there to actually grab hold of, isn't there? So where does this link in? Because you've talked to me before. I know before the show started, you were talking to me about how energy centres work in with this.
Yeah.
Now, how do these energy centres work in that then?
Well, you know, if you look back on like ancient texts, etc., everything that used to be, you know, taken as part of life then, that was cast aside when, say, science, maybe even religion has come in. You know, a lot of everything that was natural and naturopathic and based upon energy and the spiritual nature was all kind of cast out as woo-woo. But it's all re-emerging now. So if you look back on ancient, you know, Chinese medicine or Buddhism, etc., you know, you will see what they've written about energy and energy centers, and that, you know, we're made of energy. We have these lots of chakras, but the 7 main chakras that people know about that run vertically up our body. And what it is, to simplify it, people know it as a chakra. It's an energy centre. And why is it an energy centre? Because they have nerve fibres that cross over each other. So they're highly sensitive, and they have, you know, they're attached to like endocrine glands, which control our emotions and hormones. So all we are as humans are emotionally sensitized beings that run up from our emotions.
Well, we know that our emotions affect our behaviours, and our behaviours affect what we do with other people.
And our emotions affect our health and physical body as well. But we are told to live by our head. We're told to live in our head and not to listen to the body. So when we talk about energy centers, it's helping somebody get more attuned to their body. So if you take a criticism, for example, you'll feel it in a certain part of your body.
Yeah.
If you suffer grief, loss, a breakup of, you know, an intimate relationship, you'll physically feel it in your heart.
Yes.
You know, if you're scared and you're going to do a public speaking event and you get fearful, the energy center in your throat will tighten up. You know, they're all connected to these endocrine glands that govern certain organs. So, you know, that's what I perceive as an energy
So
center.
these energy centers actually, do they communicate with other people?
I believe so, yeah. We all
Okay.
have a field, yeah.
So therefore, if we talk, I'm going to bring something in here quickly because it was something I had in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But is that where Reiki comes into this? And where Reiki actually can, because it's a person using their energy to assist, heal, move forward somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, like healing in itself is a real phenomenon. Obviously, science can't prove everything, but they're trying to prove bits. And I forget the guy's name, but he proved scientifically something called biophotons that are emitted from plants originally, and then he discovered it on the body.
I know the man. I can't remember his name either, but I know you're talking about because he was on the radio. He was being talked about on the radio earlier today.
Dr. Fitz Albert Pop.
Go on.
Right? So he discovered biophotons. So when the body is in pain or it leaks these biophotons. And where hands-on healing is concerned, they obviously haven't proven this. They haven't kind of quite made the link where everybody can have this eureka moment and prove it. You know, it's true. But our body is made of light. So, you know, when we do the healing, it's basically trying to conserve the energy in the person's body.
Hasn't he also, haven't they also found these photons with plants?
Yeah, that's how he originally
and haven't they
found
also
it.
found them with rocks and crystals and things as well?
I think like with, I'm not sure about rugs, that'd be interesting to find out about that.
Shintoism.
Pardon?
Shintoism.
That sounds like you're swearing. Say that again.
Shintoism in Japan.
Shinto in Japan.
I haven't
yeah.
heard of it, no.
Well, they have. Do you not know about rock gardens?
No?
I'm thinking more about crystals than rocks, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that concept that everything is a living organism.
Well, put it this way: if you've got a crystal takes thousands of years, sometimes millions of years, to make. To actually, all the pressure and the heat has to be exactly right, and it produces a crystal which has particular facets to it. Now, you can't tell me that all that energy that's been used to make that crystal. One of the things somebody said on the train a few weeks ago was that energy can't be created, neither can it be destroyed. So therefore, that energy must go somewhere, and into that crystal is probably the place it's going.
Yeah.
Now, some people say that crystals of particular colours link to, correct me if I'm wrong, but chakras have colours as well, are related to colours as well.
Yeah.
And we talked at one point about the way colours have different vibrations, and the vibrations of those colours will actually work in with the vibrations of the chakras.
Yeah.
Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Crystals, they say, because of the energy that's put into them, that energy will come out. Now then, what I don't know is whether that energy relates to each one of those chakras, as some people do believe, or if a particular crystal, it might even be a rock you found on a beach, for goodness sake, could be it just relates to you, and therefore it resonates with you, and therefore it works with you. I don't want to go again into something that which is science, which is quite deep, but have you heard about a bioresonance machine?
Yeah.
Bioresonance is something that measures the vibration of everything, people and things and bits and so on. Now that vibration, again, I don't know how far it goes, but that vibration can be used to charge a stone or a pendant or a piece of metal. It's usually a stone or a crystal, but it can be used to charge that. and you can then wear it, and the treatment that you've had from the bioresonance will be carried with you.
Yeah, I've actually got one. I'm not wearing it now, but I've got, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's taking wind out of my sails. I didn't know you had one.
Yeah, no, I'm not wearing it now.
Okay, so you know about the way that works.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it, yeah.
Okay, so we're now talking about a range of different vibrations and a range of different things, not only in physical sense.
Well, it kind of like makes a bit of a circle back to what you were saying about the law of attraction in a way. Like, how do our thoughts become things? You know, it kind of has to exist in some kind of vibrational universe.
Yeah, the problem is, sorry to cut across you, but the problem I've got with that, and the problem I think other people have with that, is they go, oh, I want to have £1,000. I want £1,000. I want £1,000. It's not there. Oh, it doesn't work. And that's, a lot of people have that concept that if they can't actually have it immediately, because we live in an immediate society, they can't have it immediately, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
it doesn't
there's
work, but it
reasons
doesn't
why it
work
doesn't
like
work.
that though, does it?
It doesn't work. I mean, it's hard to say because, you know, that's just a sweeping statement. You'd need to know what the intention is of that person, what the belief system is of that person.
Sorry.
I believe that that's how we create our reality, through our thoughts and intention and our emotions and feelings. Everything vibrates into this sea of matrix, or whatever you want to call it. That's how we create what we create. That's how we, I don't know, sometimes if people say, oh, I want to have this, X, Y, and Z because I've heard the law of attraction works. Well, the law of attraction has already been working in your life. Think about what you've got and why you've got it, and the feelings and the intent that was put out before you manifested it, good and bad. You have to dig deeper than that. If you don't believe you're going to get it, if you truly don't have that connection to the thing that you're asking for, no, you won't get it.
But what you just said was, and I think you're right, is that attraction's already been working anyway, without you even thinking about it, which is your unconscious mind, which, going back to what you had said earlier on, and let's not get too complicated because we're treading on the puddles, not in them. That will go, that will work with you, and if you don't have a good positive intention, then it's going to work against you. And one of the things that annoys me are people who are going around saying, oh, woe is me, or I never have any luck, or everything always goes wrong for me, this is not right, and I can't get this. And they keep wishing for that, so that's what they keep getting.
Unfortunately.
And how do you change that?
Through the soul awakening method.
So what's the soul awakening method?
Well, basically, forget the soul awakening method, but what you just said, we are creating our reality based on our beliefs and our imprinting, and it's only when we are prepared to face that and face ourselves actually, and accept how we're creating this reality, what we truly believe about ourselves, where our deepest wounds, deepest hurts, deepest fears, deepest desires, deepest shit comes from. When we're prepared to look at it, we come from a point of awareness, and then we can choose how we then create our life going forward. Do we want to stay the same, or do we want to unravel some of the stuff that's not working for us and start again?
So we are coming back to how we are actually in control of whatever we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So really it doesn't matter what there is going on around us in the way of energy or anything else. We're actually in control.
We're using that energy, we're working with that energy, you have no choice. So you can use it for your advantage or your disadvantage. It doesn't matter, it's not biased. Energy won't go more to you and less to me because we're having negative thoughts. We all share the same energy. What we want to do with it is it our intent. Through our intention, we create our version of reality based on what you just said. Our beliefs, our thoughts, our feelings, our desires.
I have to say, you are making me think. For the first time in years, probably. But yeah, what you're saying makes me think. It's something which I have thought about before, and I've always understood and I've always heard people say, that you need to have a positive mental attitude and an outlook which understands what you are, and therefore, in my thinking, it's what you can contribute.
Yeah.
And what you can contribute is also what you will get back.
Yeah.
And that's partly what I'm trying to do, is find out what is the truth behind all this, and try and help all those people who actually hear about all these things and it never works, and they can't understand why it doesn't work.
People have to work hard to change their life. It's not easy, you know.
No, it's not easy.
Or maybe it is, maybe that's the wrong thing to say, like it's as easy as you want to make it, but...
That's a nice way of putting it. It's usually as difficult as you want to make it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
You know, sometimes, like for me, I had to go through the whole depression stage, and really to transform my life, I had to shed a lot of false baggage I was carrying.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people like that. But can I very, very quickly, because I see there's a station coming up, if we go, I want to go back a step.
Yeah.
Do you mind?
No.
I want to go back a step. We talked briefly about these energy centres, about chakras, yeah? And you were saying how they are nerve endings coming together, the endocrine system and so on.
Yeah.
How do these work? My understanding of chakras is that we have a middle chakra, a heart chakra, which sort of separates our lower chakras, which are
our physical chakra,
physical, earthbound, keep our feet on the floor, keep us strong, keep us healthy. And then we've got these higher chakras, which actually are a little more esoteric, where we've got communication, where we've got this thing which people call the third eye, this pineal gland, which in actual fact is probably a window to your unconscious.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
Okay, and then you've got this other chakra, which is actually on the top of the head. This is a Buddhist thing, isn't it? Opening the 5-petal lotus, which is one of the meditations that they use, which links you to the universe.
Yeah.
But it links you through the universe only from the fact that you've got a base chakra, which is holding you attached to the ground.
Yeah.
What's your take on these energy centres, on how they work?
Yeah, I like the way you explain it. It's really nice and simple for people to follow that concept, and I agree with you. What I find interesting is we're surrounded by consciousness, universal consciousness, but when we want to kind of connect or meditate to our, say, whatever you connect to, we tend to want to go up, and I always wonder, why do we do that when it's just all around us anyway? You know, obviously, you know, we can go into the heart as well, but when we close our eyes, because I did think about this the other day, where are we actually going to connect? The thought about how do I do it? And it is more of an inward.
It's inside.
It's more of a inner. It's more of the pineal gland. I feel like I go in, and I go out. If that makes sense.
One of the misconceptions about chakras is that they are, here's a centre here, so there's my chakra, dink, and it isn't. It's all round. Yeah.
It's all round. Yeah, it forms this.
Rather than going,
Field.
There it is, a little horn there, thank you very much.
Well, apparently they connect to an auric field.
There is, this is going back to a Buddhist concept, isn't it? About being connected to an auric field, being connected to your higher self.
Yeah.
And that during a meditation where you can actually link through your chakras and through your higher chakra to your higher self. And it's like being connected by an umbilical cord. Again, that's very simple. It's a very simple way of explaining how you are looked upon. I like this idea though of going up and down. I mean, heaven's up, hell is down.
It's interesting. I don't know.
Well, I don't think it is, but that's not the point. I like what you're saying about everything is all around you. And when you actually go into a quiet space, it isn't just something which is just up or down. It's anywhere.
I feel when I do it, it's a kind of connection in, down, and out. Yeah, it's like an expansion.
I see what you're saying. Mine's more of a connection out.
Yeah.
Perhaps I should try going in first. I might find.
I just wondered what was it that I do, because I've never thought about it before.
Do you not think, after having just had the conversation we've had, is thinking about it a good thing to do or a bad thing to do?
I was just thinking about how it feels when I do it. Like go in and connect when I'm walking the dog, you know what I mean, out in nature. You know, don't need to be sat on a yoga mat or anything like that. Do it all the time.
So you don't have to sit and be cross-legged and chant Om?
No.
You don't? Okay, fair enough. Right, look, we are moving towards a station at the moment, but I am totally blown away by what you've been saying, and it's made me stop and think quite hard. What would you say to anybody who's heard what we're talking about, anybody who perhaps wants to connect more with themselves? What would you say would be the first step they should take?
They need to probably, the first step that they should take, I would say, everybody needs to find what resonates with them, because people connect. There's so much diversity. You said meditation, sitting on a yoga mat, chanting. There's so many different things, and everybody will connect with something different. Now, I would say research, get variety in your life, go and try as many different things and find the one thing that works for you.
So in other words, if it works for you...
If it works for you, it works
then it
for
works.
you. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And there's no because
separate.
everybody says, oh, this is the way to do it, or that's the way to do it, or this is my way, and because I've achieved it, then it's the right way.
No, I don't think that's the right attitude.
I think it's very pedantic, isn't it? And though I agree with you, it probably isn't the right attitude to have either.
Can I ask an audience question?
Yes,
so,
audience.
When you were talking about the law of attraction, and obviously everybody's version of the law of attraction is from the one sequence they see in The Secret, and everything about thinking about it, and then all of a sudden forgetting about it, and then it happens. To you, what is the law of attraction? Like, I know you explained it in kind of like a way, but I mean, how can somebody actually attract something in that aspect that they're looking for?
They have. It's a bit like having faith, prayer. It's a little bit like that. When you set the intention out there, and you wholeheartedly believe it's going to come to you. Things have happened like that for me, but they happen a lot when I let that thought go, which is really hard to do, because your mind wants to keep revisiting that, and just let me fine tune that a little bit, and let me throw some extra conditions on there as well, and you really do.
I have to say, I can agree with that totally. There's been episodes in my life which have occurred when I didn't expect them, but which when I sat back and thought about them and considered it, yes, this was something I've asked for, and something I wanted, and actually had forgotten about. In two cases, I've just completely forgotten about.
You have to believe. You either have to really believe, or you have to let it go. And because I've been amazed sometimes, I've totally forgotten. I'm like, it's there. Oh my God! It's like, yeah, I asked for that.
And the other thing is I've found is that you ask for something, and when you get it, it isn't always exactly what you expected at exactly the right time you expected it. But when you think about it, it is what you actually want. It's what you needed at that time to help you move forward.
Well, one more question, and then we're going to get like 2 minutes. Is that we had a conversation where I said, for me, I randomly just run into people at the right time. Like, if it was 1 minute early or 1 minute late, I wouldn't have run into a certain person and everything. It's not like some big, explosion happens by doing that, but it happens to me all the time. And I told that to you, and you said it meant something.
It means something to me because, I've had exactly the same experience where you meet somebody and no such thing as a coincidence. You meet somebody and it just clicks. There's something happens. You find there's an honesty you can have with that person, which perhaps you can't have with somebody else, or you haven't thought about something.
Synchronicity. If you think about all your life events and how they kind of like form this, series of sequential events and meetings and synchronicity, and if that hadn't happened, then I wouldn't have be doing this now, and but it's almost like, well, how does deja vu work if anybody's had that experience? And it's like, okay, I feel like I just stepped off the movie scene.
Here's a platform coming along here. We can get into
deja vu. It's like, I've had this conversation before. I've been here before, and you're like, No.
This is a whole other program.
Yeah.
This is a whole more. We must have. Look, I would like you very much to come and catch a train again at some point, because we're going to have to get off now.
Is that it now?
Yeah, but I'd like you to come and catch the train again at some point. And perhaps at that stage we can actually say, let's talk about deja vu.
Yeah,
Okay?
not that I know much about it, but I'll give it a go.
Exactly, why not? Let's talk about it.
Oh.
But here we are, we've pulled into the station. Thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.
Anne-Marie, absolutely super. I do suggest you go and have a look at Anne-Marie's website, her Soul Awakening website, and read a book. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.